Hi, I'm Brien Lundin of Gold Newsletter, and I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver, Canada. I have the great pleasure to speak right now with Mike Struthers, CEO of Altaley Mining. Mike, one of the things that I see in the market today is everybody likes the copper story. I think copper is going to be trading for $8 a pound in 5 years, maybe sooner. But the issue is, where do you find a junior copper play that's leveraged to the copper price? It takes the typical copper mine 10 years or more to go into production from discovery. Where's a junior that actually can benefit from higher copper prices today? Well, it looks like I found one, by the way. I'm familiar with this story. Talked about it over a year ago or so, and I went before we talked and looked at your market cap. It's amazing to me that your market cap now is right around $14 million, considerably less than the EBITDA that you're going to get from one of your mines that's focused on zinc and copper. Two stories that junior investors are really looking for exposure to. Seems like you're probably not too happy about your share price right now, but I am, and I think investors should be. It looks like an extraordinary opportunity.
Look, I would agree. I'm not excited by the share price, but it is an opportunity. Look, I came into the company in September, and I guess I look at this as sort of my job this year is to turn this around. To transform this into a really a successful, profitable mining company.
Right. Because it's been run as an exploration company kind of before that, and that's a completely different mindset.
Exactly. Yeah. And in a sense, an exploration company, but with an operating mine, well established.
Yeah. And
with a very advanced construction project.
Yeah.
Operating mine in Campo Morado, which is where our copper exposure comes from. Now it's fundamentally zinc operations, zinc with copper, but we've consciously increased our zinc exposure in the mine. It shifted the focus towards copper this year.
Okay.
And we get some very high silver tenors with our copper. So that it's historically been something like 25% of our concentrate production or revenues from cons in copper, but now it's 40% this year.
Okay.
So a lot of work gone into a really robust plan for this year for Campo Morado. We're going to have a really good Q2, and I think the second half of the year for Campo Morado is going to be even better.
Do you have forecasts out there in the public domain as far as what you expect to get this year?
We're just about to put some out. We haven't traditionally given guidance, but I want to start doing that, and we're actually going to be doing that very shortly.
And it would compare very favorably, I guess, to your current market cap when that comes out.
Very.
Good.
Because it is crazy where we're sitting right now. It's a function of the recent history.
Yeah.
My job now is really regain credibility, do what we say we're going to do.
Yeah.
It's all about delivery this year. So we put a lot of effort into, robust plans for Campo Morado, be really clear about the budgets and schedules and all that discipline for the construction project, which is Tauweto. Tauweto is fundamentally a gold mine. Over 70% of the revenues there are from gold and silver. Our first goal there is to complete the construction of the 500 ton a day project.
Yeah.
That's the foundation for the expansion to 1,000 tons a day. We'll deliver that 500 ton project finally in Q2 this year.
And that project in particular, I guess not in particular, but in addition to Campo Morado, justified last year about this time the potential of that project, the realistic potential, justified a far higher market cap than you have right now. So
it's a really strong project. I think it's the market cap where we are now is really a reflection of the frustration, the lack of delivery.
Yeah.
There are lots of reasons for that, both internal and external. But since I've come in, we've started making changes. I've just appointed a new CFO. We've made some changes on the ground at the sites. At Tauweto, I put a new construction manager. We just appoint a new GM. So. And just really introducing real construction management or project management disciplines into the whole thing, so that it's much tighter.
And again, setting goals that are achievable and doing what you say you're going to do. So I would guess that these goals you have very high confidence in being able to hit them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, everybody will heave a sigh of relief when we finally get the 500-ton project at Tawato built.
Yeah. What's the timing on that again?
Q2.
Q2, okay.
Probably early Q2, yeah.
That's not that far away.
No, it's not. And there's only, we're just waiting on delivery of some cyclones and pumps and all that good stuff, to take us from where we are now, which is about 350 tons a day, up to the 500. For the 1,000-ton expansion, we've already got the mill. So, we can double our output at the mine for a very modest budget of something like $7 or $8 million, and we've doubled the output. So,
and where's that money going to come from?
We advertised a rights offering a little while back.
Okay.
We haven't started that yet. The quantum of that was 16 Canadian.
Okay.
That will see us deliver the 500-ton project. The timing of the 1,000-ton expansion to double that capacity depends partly on how do we go with the rights offering, how's our cash generation, etc. from the sites. We would obviously want to do it as early as we can. That's our goal.
Yeah.
It is, something we can move in time depending on those various factors. So, we want to get that done as soon as possible. I think we will be operating at the nameplate 1,000 tons a day certainly by Q4.
And that would be delivering significant cash flow at that point?
Yeah, the PFS numbers are about the NPV 5 is just over 160 million, and the IRR is 65%. The EBITDA for that, once we're at commercial production for 1,000 tons a day, it's about 2.2 or so average, $2.2 million a month. A month. Yeah.
And again, $14 million market cap and cash flow positive at Campo Morado.
Yep.
Wow.
So, you're just there. You're almost there. And this year is about turning that story around and achieve those key milestones.
Yeah.
Get some good performance from Campo Morado, and then we're off.
So, a real classic valuation play.
Yep. Exposure
to gold, silver, junior exposure to actual zinc and copper production. Now, that's a real rarity in this market today.
Yeah. And that's really why I decided I would join and help out.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing to me because, again, copper is an incredible story, zinc's an incredible story, but for junior investors, it's largely been in exploration and development who's finding, and there are some great projects out there, great companies finding zinc and copper, but that's not going to have an impact on the copper or the zinc market for the next decade. So when you see, if you look at the ramp up, for example, in the copper price over the last month or so, the reopening of China, a way to maintain exposure to gold and silver production, but also be able to leverage that story that's developing literally as we speak with a real value play. Mike, it seems like a great opportunity.
I think so.
You would agree with me on that?
I would agree with you, of course, yeah.
I don't want to say anything too controversial. Let's just talk in the remaining time we have about catalysts coming up. 500 ton per day, I guess, Q2. That's a key catalyst. Anything else we should be looking at?
Yeah, well, as I say, Campo Morado is going to have, starting in late February or March, we're going to have a really good Q2. And the reason for that is shifting the focus a bit toward more copper as part of the makeup of Campo. But we're also, as a part of that copper focus, we're installing right now some additional flotation. What that means is it's going to take our copper concentrate grade up by 5%.
Okay.
We're going from 11 to 16% copper content.
And again, a direct impact to the bottom line there.
Absolutely, yeah. And what goes with that is quite high silver tenors in that copper concentrate.
Okay.
In the order of sort of 700 or 800 grams per ton. So lots of benefits there, and a particularly strong second half for Campo Morado. So that's generating the cash. Tawato, deliver the 500-ton project, Q2. Move as quickly as we're able to into the 1,000, get that done. And I would say, Q4 is I think conservative for delivering that. Yeah. And then we've announcing commercial production. We've achieved the nameplate for the PFS.
Right.
That's where the scope beyond that. Both the projects have got good upside.
Yeah.
Campo Morado, what I should say is that Campo Morado is it's a VMS deposit.
Yeah.
Right? It's always going to need that extra level of technical management to make it successful. in the past, it's been a little bit too reactive rather than proactive. And with those types of deposits, you have to have a very intimate, in your planning processes, you have to have very intimate linkage between mineralogy and what you put in the plant, how it behaves. And that's, in fact, some of the behavior in 2022 was a function of not giving that the right level of attention. So Campo Morado is an opportunity, in fact, to be a lot more proactive.
Okay.
And be much smarter about, it's called geometallurgy, but much smarter about the planning of the material that you're going to put in the plant and how it behaves.
And to improve the economics that already more than justify your current value.
So I brought some international engineers in that I'd worked with when I was with Lundin Mining. I brought them in October last year. They've given us a roadmap to how we can progressively improve performance. None of that is factored into our plans for this year. It's all upside. So in addition to the focus, shifting more towards copper and the improvements in the con grades, we've also got a path ahead now to improve performance beyond that. And we're talking about, a few points of recovery for each step of the way. So it
makes a big difference.
There's a lot of opportunity there. And Tauweto, there's lots of upside there too, lots of exploration to be done. The company's never done any exploration. We can look at doubling the throughput there in the future as well. But I want this year is about getting the foundation.
Well, but that's at your current valuation, there's nothing the market respects more than bottom line revenue generation, cash flow production, and that is the key component. And I think you'll be proving that over the weeks ahead. A great opportunity for investors at this low level. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.